So tell me about the process for identifying who actually is going to get your attention and help.
Yeah.
Not just attention, obviously.
The complexity of Seedstars today is that we are quite diversified. So if we have two main activities. On one side, we have the, let's call it the education activity, in which we build a smart methodology, which is kind of our way of teaching entrepreneurship and supporting entrepreneurs in tracking their milestones so that they can scale their businesses, which is nothing new. It's kind of putting together the right frameworks and tools of how to build a business.
Right.
And this we would do historically with the typical incubator program, accelerator program, investment ready program that we could see on the market also in Europe, but customized to these countries and to these thematics.
Right.
And now, of course, like everyone, we're trying to scale it and customize it with AI.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one model. And then the other is one part of the director. And the second one is investing. And within investing, the sourcing strategy is very different depending on which investment vehicle we're talking about. So we have our VC funds, and then they have a specific strategy of sourcing. Our early stage global VC fund does tickets of 200 to $500,000. They do not lead investments. They co-invest.
Okay.
That means the job of the team of that VC fund is to build the best network of co-investors, finding the right VC funds, the right actors in Brazil, in Nigeria, in Indonesia to co-invest with.
Okay.
And build that relationship. Then we have more mature funds like Seedstars Africa Ventures, which leads. So their sourcing strategy is different. Their portfolio will be smaller than the early stage one. And so it's doubling down on specific entrepreneurs and industries where they believe they can support and follow them throughout the whole journey, because they're coming in a bit later stage. They're taking a seat at the board level. So it's a very different relationship.
Right.
And then we do concessional loans. So I provide loans of $2,000 to a young rural entrepreneur in Ethiopia.
Okay.
Like $500,000 venture debt to a B2B marketplace in Nigeria. So every time the sourcing and screening strategy differs, and it's different teams building this.
Right. Interesting. So it's not quite microcredit.
I guess
that would
we're
be
getting
like
close to the 2K is getting too close to microcredit.
Right.
But of course, with our proposition of having this hybrid model of working with local institutions, vetting the entrepreneurs through our methodology, which can be done finally thanks to AI, because I can, at a reasonable cost, build a long-term relationship with these entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I don't need them to be extremely startup or tech savvy in that sense, because we can, through AI, communicate by WhatsApp in their local language, and I can identify and collect enormous data to be able to support and build a credit profile.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so lots.
No, but it's very complex, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, you have one thing that you're really trying to achieve, obviously, but there are so many different ways that you can do that, and then you replicate that, in how many different countries? A lot, right? But how many about?
I mean, investment-wise, I think we're exposed in over 40 countries.
Right.
Program-wise, over the past 10 years, we've been in nearly over 80 countries.
80 countries?
Yes.
I didn't even know there were 80 countries. Oh,
there are more.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. I mean, it's a hugely, I can kind of imagine you looking at a spreadsheet, if there's such a thing, how many columns does it have and how many rows does it have? And there's lots and lots of information that, that would together show you what the aggregate is of what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Do you look at at Seedstars from that kind of holistic point of view, or is it, I mean, you're the CEO, so of course you must. So I answer my own question rather than have you answer it. But how do you do that? Because it's all, I mean, relatively, is there any one project or any one program that would represent even 2% of your total activity? Are they all really small?
Yes, actually much bigger, because when I was saying over the past 10 years, it's in discontinuity. Most of these programs last 6 months, 1 year, 2, and it's been more recently that we're shifting to multi-year programs.
Okay, so, and those are by by their nature, they're bigger than, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so they take a much bigger portion and weighted. So I think that we've been exposed in that many markets, but today concretely, I think we have right now 10 programs running in parallel, you see? And so that's more or less, and so we do look at it at an aggregate, but I think it's more of a diversification strategy where we identify kind of the key priority projects. And then we have a set of incubated projects that we're testing and figuring out if they're going to be the next kind of levier. It's strange, I don't have the word in English, but the next kind of wave of growth at Seedstars.
Okay.
Because what we do is, it's really difficult in the sense that we are trying to be to constantly balance profit and purpose.
Right.
And so it's never about growth for growth. It's, are we growing with the sense that the activities we are delivering would have a potential intended positive impact?
Right.
And I say potential because it's very long-term what we're doing. I don't know if this program where I spent 6 months with this entrepreneur is actually going to be catalytic enough to build in 10 years' time, because that's how long it takes, a resilient and scalable business that actually has an impact on the region and to those citizens.
Right. But not knowing that must be a problem, because you can't just say, well, I'm not sure it will, so, adios and good luck. You in a way kind of have to keep
doing
keep the relationship alive, and that means funding.
Yeah.
Right. So you have
very difficult, because the more you want to create an intimate relationship, the more the funnel extremely narrows, and then you find yourself speaking to only 100 of entrepreneurs, but you were exposed
only 100.
I mean, if you're really talking about kind of an intimate relationship over a decade, kind of is.
Yes.
But it's wonderful because now we have more than 10 years history of Seedstars. Going back to, recently I was in Latin America, and you meet these entrepreneurs that were one way or another exposed to Seedstars, either through an event or a program or an investment. And they're really convinced that we were part of that, one of those pivotal moments that allowed them to go to the next level. And that's good enough for me also.
Of course.
But
that's very rewarding for both of you, right?
Exactly. Right. But like any company that's trying to scale, we just have a set of hypotheses and different indicators that we hope that we reassess constantly to see if they're accurate or not, to identify this intended impact. So in the impact development space, the best framework we found so far is the theory of change. And theory of change. Okay. And you see, that's how good it gets. It's still a theory.
Okay.
But
you better test this theory.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's all about testing the theory of, okay, my theory is that if I do this set of activity, the direct output is going to be X amount of new jobs, increase in revenue of this company, a more dignified work conditions. So you set kind of all the direct outputs, which lead to certain outcomes, which will then lead to certain long-term impact.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's kind of how we're trying to track and reassess.
Right.
But again, it's a theory. So I agree, it's quite vague.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound very vague. I mean, it is based on projections, right?
Exactly.
And projections are based on assumptions.
Exactly. But there are a whole lot of assumptions.
Yeah, no kidding.